Have you ever bought a $7 Starbucks and thought nothing of it? What if I told you that you didn't just lose the $7 that you spent on the Starbucks drink, you lost the $7 that you didn't save or that you didn't use to buy lunch instead later that day? Everyone should have a basic understanding of economic concepts to make smarter personal, financial, and political decisions. First, I'll explain how opportunity cost and sunk cost fallacy affect us every day, and how understanding can lead to better decision-making as you're more informed. Second, these concepts and others applied on a larger scale to politics, the economy at large, and individual businesses and corporations. First, taking a look at opportunity cost. It helps to show us what we give up when we make a decision. For example, if you are thinking about what to do after high school, you might be thinking college or go to work. The opportunity cost of choosing college is the wages, the time spent not studying, and the work experience that you would have otherwise gotten if you'd chosen to go to work immediately. It's the next best thing that you gave up. Going back to that $7 Starbucks, assume you've already bought it. It's spent now. But you can use opportunity cost in the future to weigh what is the most important use of this money. Is this Starbucks worth it, or is there something else I would prefer to do with it instead? When we choose our items, we are considering opportunity cost, what we give up to get something, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City, 2021. Looking at sunk cost fallacy, it's something rather common. Have you ever bought a movie ticket and realized halfway through that this movie is garbage, but you stayed till the end anyway because you'd already bought the ticket? Sunk cost fallacy is a logical fallacy, in which staying to the end of that movie seems like you're getting more out of your ticket, when really, you're wasting your time that you could have spent to enjoy something else. It's the idea of staying in an investment because you've already invested and it's too late now. But really, it's not too late, and understanding this fallacy can help you make more informed decisions about what you do with your time and your money. But these economic concepts don't just stop at coffee or movies, they scale up to choices made by governments and corporations. Economic thinking can help us understand how political policies impact the economy at large, and therefore impact us. For example, employment decisions. Letting go hundreds of thousands of federal workers or laying off tens of thousands of Amazon employees. These are big choices. These raise the unemployment rate, and thus it reduces consumer spending. Those without income are going to spend a lot less. This lower spending impacts the real GDP, and thus makes the standard of living lower for the rest of us. Trade policies and tariffs are similar. Understanding how they work, for example, knowing that tariffs are paid by the people who buy the item, thus you and me, and understanding that trade policies only work when they're stable, so businesses know that they can invest in the future. On again, off again creates instability and makes it difficult for businesses to want to invest. Looking at a recent political decision, the 2025 Trump administration tariffs, they are projected to raise $5.2 billion within 3 years. That's a lot of money. But they're also projected to reduce the GDP, reduce investment, and reduce wages, according to Smetters 2025. Consumers will then face higher prices and fewer options in the future. Similarly, we can also look at aid programs. Aid programs are generally considered a right versus wrong, but you can also look at it in terms of economics. Aid programs show how economics and political decisions can truly intercept in a way that's more of a social impact, I should say. For example, people who are poor, who now have support from the government, their spending power is increased. They're going to buy more, which supports local businesses. This supports the economy as a whole and increases the standard of living for all of us. However, there is also the trade-off of government spending, which then you can look at the government deficit and make a more informed decision about what you want to support politically. Economics can help us see the real costs and benefits of our decisions. Opportunity cost and sunk cost fallacy help us guide personal decisions, and basic economics can help us see how political choices are actually going to impact us and our communities. They can also help us vet the claims made by politicians versus just relying on what they say. Knowing empowers us to make better choices in voting, in our personal lives, and just in general with anything that comes to do with money. It helps us make choices that shape our society and our communities. Remember next time when you go into Starbucks that $7 isn't just for the drink. It's not just about choosing whether to get peppermint mocha or whether to get pumpkin spice. It's about choosing, does that $7 for that drink really worth it versus spending it elsewhere. This week I encourage you, and as well in the future, to encourage you to learn more about economics. Check out resources from your local Federal Reserve Bank. For example, the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis and Kansas City both offer resources that can help you learn more about economics, and thus make more informed choices in the future. I would like to take a moment to give some verbal citations for my speech. This is not speech content, but the citations. Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City, 2021, Everyday Economics. Knowledge at Wharton, 2025, The Economic Impact of Tariffs. Alt T et al., 1991, Sunken Opportunity Costs in Evaluation and Bidding. Taylor J.B., 2022, The Effect of the Rescue Plans and Need for Policies to Increase Economic Growth, Stanford University. Thank you very much.